Obi and Ikekwe, we formally present the letters to Sister Harriet, who will return this food to others. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I wish to thank God Almighty and His loving and able Son Jesus Christ for their continued sustenance and manifold blessings towards us. One of my most passionate verses in the Bible is Lamentation chapter 3, verse 22-23, which says, "The east of the Lord's mercy we are not consumed, because His compassion faileth not, that they are new every morning, and great is His faithfulness." The reason you and I are sitting here today is indeed the grace of God. Initially, when I was called upon to come and take this mantle, I looked at myself, I was like, no, Brendan, okay, I'm not the person. I just want to operate and touch life and go quietly. I was not too comfortable with it. I had to argue with it a lot, and it came with a lot of blackmailing. I call it blackmail, but at the end of the day, it was not actually blackmailing. Because sometimes when you're given a mantle, like God Almighty, you don't need to reject. It gives you the enablement. If He asks you to do something, He accomplishes it, you do. And to the execution stage, it does it. So I took it upon myself as okay, yeah. So I want to give God the glory, and I also want to appreciate our capable and able members of the Youth Fellowship Committee, Nigeria and abroad, for deeming me fit, for giving me the privilege. Because sometimes I look at myself, who am I? Why did you come and choose me for the first place? But I want to thank them. But I also want to note, to point, there's something I actually want to also say. Because I've been in this committee for the past 8 years. And I happen to be representing the Port Harcourt zones, so there are 3 of us. And it's something that was not working. Initially, it was really viable. We wanted to move and everything. But we discovered there was no funds. So we became very handicapped. Initially, we started, we did a project, yes, we did a seminar. I was a keynote speaker on that project in Hugeli or somewhere around Hugeli. And that was the last one we did, and that was all. There was no fund, there's nothing. So when they called upon me again to come again, I said, no, I'm not going to come. Because I don't want to put my hand in something that will not work. If it's going to work, then I will do it. But I believe this time around that our youth officers have actually sat down before they came in again to commence this project again, to start to do one. I'm sure they must have also do their own work. But I just want to beg their indulgence and plead with them, please. What happened in the past 8 years should not repeat itself again by God's grace and power. Because the youths, the women and my sisters are going to work with here, I know they are able and capable. But we need your help, your assistance. We need to move. So if you give us the enablement to move, we will move. But I beg, I wouldn't want to put my hands in a project that will fail. And I'm sure you guys are also doing your work. You all brothers have done your good work. And I pray God help us to deliver. Thank you so very much.
Another clap finish. Thank you very much, Sister Harriet Ojigba and other members of this subcommittee for accepting. Sometimes nominations are made and the members may not even accept. But like we said, in line with the Holy Bible, there must first be a willing mind. Once you are willing, you are hardworking, and you have faith in God, we believe everything will work. You said something which I just want to respond to on behalf of the GKS Youth Fellowship Nigeria and abroad. Thank God you've been in that committee. That means you have experience to know the challenges and the strengths of the committee. While we are talking about or reading out the terms of reference, if you discover everything that concerns the Youth Fellowship National, it will be driven to the sisters by this committee. I guess that's what we said. One of your core reference. So the issue of funding, we have critically also looked at it. If you look at the first committee we put in place, has to do with funding. Some people will begin to imagine what do they want to do that they are starting with funding. But we have not said anything about funding yet, but you have just mentioned it. That the past committee, subcommittee did not work because there was no funds. The big question is, do we, the children of God, stop serving God because of lack of funds? Should we do that? Funds cannot stop the work of God, right? Because we know and believe that funds cannot stop, we also know that God will provide the needed funds. So just be hopeful. As far as we do the things we need to do, down to the branch level, funds will not be the problem, because God has never forsaken his children. The devil cannot stop the work of God because of funds. So thank you very much. If that's the only issue, we are saying just tight your belt, put on your belt, put on your thinking cap, because by God's grace, we're hoping that the coming year, a lot by God's grace will be achieved. Thank you very much. You want to make donation?
This for me is that's a very grievous mistake. I want to beg the indulgence to also say a very big thank you to my husband, my brother, because if he had said no to this, I don't think I would have been here today. So I just want to acknowledge his presence. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I better we clap for that. There are some things I didn't want to say here before, but for purpose of learning, I just have to say. Please, I want to recognize the presence of the immediate past chairman of the GKS with us as well. Please come over this way, sir. Come over this way, sir. I also want to acknowledge the presence of the immediate past vice chairman of the GKS with us as well. But I'm going to you are highly welcome. Then the presence of the immediate past financial secretary of the Youth Fellowship, Brother Mogo Africa, please come over, sir. Thank you very much for coming. We are happy to have you around with us. So, Brother Ojeba, please, the Youth Fellowship Nigeria abroad, we want to say a big thank you. You did not only allow your sister, because we know for almost everybody that is here, we personally call them on phone. But you see, one thing we want to learn. It is very, very good that in our homes, we and our sisters should be on one page. It's one lesson we need to pass out to our youths. It's to be very, very bad when your brother is called and said, this thing your sister not tell you. You say, no, you not tell me. Even if you do not say more than that, it's not a good, presentation. But if the brothers and the sisters at the home, they are on the same page, a lot of things will work in the home. Although today is not a seminar day, so we don't want to talk about that. But the experience we had while we were making calls, you see, some sisters will tell you, I don't hear what you talk, or personally I accept, but please, take approval. Let the approval come from my brother. I beg, if my brother not give me permission, I will not be allowed to go on my own. That means first, the sister recognize the headship of the brother at home. In such a lot of things we work. And again, it brings us back to marrying in the faith. Those who are married in the faith, they are blessed. The reason is because how will you call a non-member to allow his sister to come for a spiritual function? How will he understand it? I don't know whether we are getting it. So, Brother Jeba, thank you very much, because you understand the faith of the God's Kingdom Society. You are active member. You are allowed. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. This is you can return back to the seat. Thank you. Okay, wait. Your letter allows to you. Present to Sister Ojeba. She will give to others. Up youths. Action. Up youths. Action. Action in Christ.